just hurt me and just ran out with that other fella?
Yes, he has scoliosis. Yes, he had a back issue. And I don't know if the real fans know, because there have been times where we would actually do shows where Mike would be sitting on a stool.
Yeah.
Baby, I'm sorry. Please forgive me for all the wrong I've done.
Michael actually left the group probably about 11, 12 years ago now.
Why?
Well, he didn't, I guess he didn't want to be involved or do it anymore. We actually tried to reach out for him for our 20th anniversary to bring him in and have him, perform with the new album, but things didn't kind of work out, so.
A lot of people don't understand that a lot of what Mike did was more of a mimicking mechanism from what Nate would already arrange. When we would go in and sing background parts, Nathan would actually lay his parts down, and then Mike would go in and kind of copy it, that type of thing. So he is also kind of a bass baritone, so he can sing bass.
Like the Fourth Mills Brothers?
I guess you could say that, yeah.
Mike never really enjoyed being a singer. And what I mean by that is he did it because he could. It was an opportunity.
Mike from Boyz II Men ain't just leave the group. He got done dirty, y'all. Health issues, betrayal, and secrets that took years to come out. This story gonna have you side-eyeing everything you thought you knew about the 90s R and B Kings.
They didn't really want to warm up to a new person. I mean, a lot of times, groups of old, like the Temptations, who put so many people in, after a time, you don't even know who's in the group unless you know the original group. So our fans were like, we'd rather just have the three that we know and we've known for all these years versus bringing somebody else in.
Mike McCary, born December 16th, 1971, straight out of Philly, was the heartbeat of Boyz II Men. That deep bass voice? Yeah, that was all Mike, or as the crew called him, Mike Bass. His sound wasn't just smooth, it was the glue that held them harmonies together and made the ladies swoon.
A lot of people don't understand that a lot of what Mike did was more of a mimicking mechanism from what Nate would already arrange. When we would go in and sing background parts, Nathan would actually lay his parts down, and then Mike would go in and kind of copy it, that type of thing. So he is also kind of a bass baritone, so he can sing bass.
Like the Fourth Mills Brothers?
I guess you could say that, yeah.
But let me tell you, Mike didn't exactly come knocking with a resume. Nah, he stumbled into greatness, literally. The boys were hitting their notes in the school bathroom, killing it as usual when Mike just walked in on their session.
Now, you guys were singing in the bathroom, and who came in to go to the bathroom?
Mike.
That'd be you, Mike.
Yes,
you came in just having a go.
Yes.
And what, you started singing?
I started singing a bass line to what they were doing and instantly started following them around just everywhere.
Puppy down.
Yeah, man.
So we tapped him on the shoulder one day and was like, yo, man, do you want to be in the group or something?
And he said yes.
Yeah.
Most folks would have dipped out, but Mike? He jumped right in, hitting a bass line so clean it had everybody shook. They was like, yo, this dude is it. Next thing you know, he's in the group, no questions asked. And Mike? He wasn't just a singer, he was the sound. Tracks like On Bended Knee and I'll Make Love to You. His deep notes grounded those hits and set Boyz II Men apart from everybody else in the game. Mike's voice wasn't just a vibe, it was the vibe. But behind all that talent, there was a struggle nobody saw coming, and it would change everything. Mike's time with Boyz II Men? Man, it wasn't all smooth sailing and love songs. While the crew was out there killing it, Grammy after Grammy, chart after chart, Mike was out here fighting demons nobody knew about. His back? Straight up betraying him. Pain was hitting hard, but he kept his mouth shut. Folks didn't know it wasn't just a little discomfort. It was multiple sclerosis, and it was messing him up bad.
Yes, he has scoliosis. Yes, he had a back issue. And I don't know if the real fans know, because there have been times where we would actually do shows where Mike would be sitting on a stool.
Yeah.
And we were dancing and the whole thing.
But Mike? He ain't say nothing. Not to the group, not to his wife, nobody. He was out here gritting through it, trying to keep up with the fellas. Meanwhile, they're looking at him sideways thinking he lost his spark. Practices? Mike needed a stool. Performances? That cane wasn't no prop, it was survival. But the group? They ain't see the full picture. They thought Mike was just slipping, not grinding like before. Then 2003 rolled up and Mike got hit with a wake-up call. Doc told him straight, "You keep this up, you might not walk again." So Mike did what he had to do. He bounced. But leaving wasn't just about his body giving out. It was about feeling like his brothers didn't have his back. Years later, on Iyanla, Fix My Life, Mike spilled the real tea. If I had to sum it up, I'd say betrayal. We don't even talk no more. From Mike's side, it felt like the group turned their backs when he needed them most. From their side, it looked like he ghosted without giving them the truth. Miscommunication, misunderstanding, either way, the damage was done. The bond they had, broken, the iconic bass voice that held the group down, gone. Just like that, the foundation cracked and Boyz II Men had to carry on without the soul of their sound. After dipping out from Boyz II Men, Mike tried to make moves and start fresh. Him and his then wife Venus opened up a soul food spot called Majestic Ribs. They thought they were building something solid, a new chapter after all the drama. But life ain't a fairy tale and the cracks started showing. Mike's marriage straight up hit the rocks after 14 years. Venus ended up filing for divorce and things got messy. Real messy. The split didn't just cut ties between him and her, it put a wall between Mike and his kids too. At one point, Mike was out here saying he hadn't seen his kids in 7 years. 7 years, man. That kind of pain don't just go away, and don't think the dude wasn't feeling all of it. Depression had him in a chokehold. Leaving the group, losing his brothers, his body failing him, then his family falling apart. That's enough to break anybody. Mike was real about it too. He told Iyanla, "Fix My Life," how low he got and how hard it was to dig himself out of that hole. But Mike ain't no quitter. Through the pain, the setbacks, the heartbreak, he's been holding on, finding ways to keep moving forward. Whether it's talking about his struggles, raising awareness about MS, or just living life one day at a time, Mike's still standing. Life threw him curveballs left and right, but he's proving that even when you hit rock bottom, you can still climb back up. Mike might have left the group, but he ain't done fighting. From the other side of the mic, Nathan, Wanye, and Sean had their own story about Mike's exit. They knew he was dealing with some back pain, so they tried to make things easier for him. They even gave him a stool to sit on during performances, hoping to keep him in the mix without pushing him too hard. But as time went on, they said it started feeling like Mike was pulling away from the group. To them, it wasn't just about his health, it was the silence. Mike wasn't talking to them, wasn't showing up like he used to. They didn't even know the full truth about his MS until years later. They thought maybe he just lost his fire for the music. They held out as long as they could, but when he stopped answering calls and missing shows, they felt like they had no choice but to keep moving without him. In 2012, when Boyz II Men got their star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, the group tried to bring Mike back into the fold. They wanted him to be a part of the celebration and even discussed a reunion. But there was a catch. They needed him to sign a contract to protect the group in case he left again. Mike wasn't feeling that, and the talks fell apart.
Michael, the guy on the left.
What happened to Michael?
Michael actually left the group probably about 11, 12 years ago now.
Why?
Well, he didn't, I guess he didn't want to be involved or do it anymore. We actually tried to reach out for him for our 20th anniversary to bring him in and have him, perform with the new album, but things didn't kind of work out, so.
The guys say they still got love for Mike, but they've also been clear. Boyz II Men can't work without trust. They kept his spot open, saying he could come back if he's ready to commit. But for now, the group is rolling as a trio, and the doors only open if Mike's willing to walk through it on their terms. If you're feeling this deep dive and want more inside stories, drama, and untold truths about your favorite artists and groups, Make sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. Don't miss out on the next juicy story. We got more fire content coming your way. And hey, drop a comment below. Do you think Mike and Boyz II Men will ever truly reunite? Let's talk about it in the comments. Stay tuned, fam.